we go. Another lovely clap for
Great
recording,
success.
and a lovely creaky chair as well.
Oh yeah, I have fun with that in the edit.
I bet you do. I mean, if the group wants to club together and buy me a nice new computer chair, I certainly won't say no.
I need a new one. Mine's old and really uncomfortable, and I spend a lot of time sitting in it.
There we go. So it's serving its purpose well.
I want one of those nice reclining gaming ones.
An executive chair.
Yeah.
Now the reclining ones, they creak like fuck.
Do they?
The non-reclining ones are the more stable, make the least noise for when you're doing voiceovers and podcasts and stuff.
I noticed Lockhart had quite a nice chair on Saturday, moulded to his
Fancy
body.
chair.
This was one of the Secret Labs ones, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah. Yeah, they're meant to be really good. They are hella expensive though.
Are they?
Yes.
I would love one.
Gonna have a quick look.
Very expensive.
Tweet us Lockhart's chair.
Sponsor is Secret Labs.
Yeah, we
Yes.
all need chairs.
Yes.
You all need
Oh,
Lockhart's chair.
They're not. I was looking at one of those the other day. Yeah, they're not too bad.
How much are they?
Oh no, these are GeForce ones.
They're over 300.
Well, I'm not sure.
generally.
They're not listed in. I was looking on Amazon.
Okay. Okay.
Well, you should treat yourself, Darren. After all, it's just been a really big birthday for you, hasn't it?
It has. It has.
Yay!
Happy birthday, Darren.
Thank you.
Middle age.
We won't torture you.
Birthday.
We won't torture you or our listeners by attempting to sing Zoom Happy Birthday again, like we did on our
Oh
stream.
God, that was horrendous.
It was the best.
It certainly got a reaction from Twitch chat. That's all I'm going to say.
Made me feel nauseous.
Yeah. But yeah, you're.
Yeah.
Well, you're not actually. It's not your birthday as we're recording, but as this stream goes
I will
out,
have.
you will have
had
just
my
turned.
birthday. Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed. Right.
Turned into a grown-up.
Well,
I don't know
that's
about
debatable.
that.
That's
Yeah.
debatable.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, folks.
And we will both be in our 40s at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So, before we get too bogged down there, folks, welcome back, everybody, to Tales from the 20 Side, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Let's Play podcast. My name is Dom, and I am your games master for this and for many other games. And I'm joined by our regular cast members of Mr. Stu Jackson,
Hi.
Mr. Neil Kelly,
Hello.
Mr. Darren Mafucci,
Hello.
and Miss Amy Chislett.
Hello.
Sorry, I was adjusting myself then.
I could tell. Evening, folks. How is everybody? Have we all recovered from Saturday?
Yeah. I mean, I had 3/4 of a can of beer all night, so I was all right.
You started it, Darren. You're like, let's get a beer.
I didn't start it. I saw Dan had a beer, and I was like, oh, we can have beers, can we? So then I went and got a beer.
I did
And I
too.
got
When I
Prosecco
saw beer
out.
was allowed. I mean, I did drink a bit, but not as much as our hero Stu. A bottle of Prosecco and a bottle of Jack. That's going some.
No, it wasn't a whole bottle of Jack. It was just half.
And by the end of the game, his character was just like, I will fucking shoot everybody.
Yeah, it was a whole half bottle of Jack.
No, I mean, for our listeners, this was 4 weeks ago.
It was.
But as we're recording this, it was 2 nights ago that we had our 50th anniversary live stream.
Our 50th anniversary? Do you mean our first anniversary, 50th episode?
Gosh.
50th, episode 50, our 1
That's
year
like,
anniversary.
I was going to say, I know we've been. I know lockdown feels like it's taken an age, Stu, but that's going a bit too far.
Yes, it feels like I've known you for 50 years.
Well, touch
Each
wood, we
one
can only
more
hope.
painful than the last. You've brought nothing but pain and penury to my life.
Well, this is why we've had to introduce Amy to the group to stop us from killing each other. I don't mean in game. I mean,
Yeah, we didn't tell you this, Amy. You're the group's.
That's a lot of responsibility on my shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm failing miserably, it seems.
You are the group's emotional support animal. I hope you accept your title.
Okay.
I enjoyed the live stream. We should do that again sometime.
We
Yes.
definitely should. I had a blast, absolute blast. And if anybody listening didn't get to catch that live on Twitch, we should possibly by this time have put out some special episodes, sort of detailing more of the shenanigans that happened there.
it will be out on the podcast stream by now, and also the video will be out as well.
Oh, you're publishing the video as well? Excellent.
Yes, I am.
Excellent.
That'll be on my YouTube channel, Feagle Films.
Does it not save to the Twitch channel as well?
It does, but
It does.
go on, Stu. Sorry.
No, I think we were both about to
Yeah,
say the
we
exact same thing.
were
It
both
does-
about to say exactly the same thing. It does save on Twitch, but only for like 2 weeks. After that,
right, okay.
it goes away. So we've kept it to redistribute.
and for as evidence.
As evidence of what?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, it depends what the police come knocking on the door for, really. But
There we go. All right. Well, enough talk about live streams and past events. Shall we get back into our game, folks?
Yes. I can't remember what was happening.
That's all right, because I'm about to give you a lovely little recap, Darren.
Good.
So, our adventurers, Alwyn Templeton, Brother Amos, Otto von Niederschläger, Della Thornbury, and their new acquaintance Maximus Laurentius had made their way to the village of Ulsgaard, a stop along the road to Whitethrone, where they intended to fulfill, or to help Maximus fulfill a task, and basically sort of help him out in order to allow him to let the incident with his necklace slide and be forgotten. He asked you to accompany him into the town of Ulsgaard, where it was rumoured that there were creatures haunting the place. And as a priest of Pharasma, it was his sworn duty to drive these creatures out and restore holiness to the land. You entered the village, the ruined village of Ulsgaard, discovering no signs of life, very little sound aside from a noise coming from within the churchyard of a now long forsaken temple to Desna. You encountered to your surprise, you encountered two very much alive priests of Desna, seemingly working on repairing the stone wall around the outside, of the churchyard. However, when you interacted with these individuals, they revealed themselves to be undead monstrosities with twisted flesh and mouths that hung open in silent screams, instead of what they had previously appeared to be. You did a brief battle with these creatures, and as you began to gain the upper hand on them, they discorporated into clouds of dust that began to lead you towards the temple itself. Seeking to investigate, you discovered on the robes they had left behind a page of a journal detailing some strife that had occurred in this place, but you were still without enough information to fully paint a picture. You decided to approach the temple and begin to investigate what you found there. On approaching the temple itself, you found the outer wall of many of the more outlying rooms to have crumbled and broken in many places. As Della approached the cloister to scout out a bit further, she became aware of movement off to her left in a small storeroom, and emerging from the storeroom, a carniverous plant known as a bloodlash bush began to make its way towards her. As she retreated to the rest of the group, the bush became aware of the rest of them and retreated in kind, seemingly not willing to deal with a larger group of adventurers such as yourselves. And just as we left off, Olwyn had just taken his first step into the cloister of the temple itself, where a once beautiful garden was now dominated by a large dead oak tree, and the cloister itself swirled with mist that cloyed at Olwyn's skin. And as he stepped into the courtyard of the cloister, he felt a crunch underfoot, and looking down, discovered the floor to be littered with tiny human bones. And that is where we bring ourselves back in. So my question to you is, adventurers, what would you like to do?
This isn't really our mission, is it? This isn't really what we set up. We have more important things to do at White Throne.
Well, yes, it's a sort of side questy thing, isn't it? Where, we said we'd help Maximus. Well, Maximus, I mean, this is your bloody mission. What do we do? You're the undead expert, allegedly.
Yes. Well, as I said, there's a strong necromantic energy coming from that fog. If we could find a way to disperse it, that might break whatever curse is holding this place. But I've got no sign of those creatures at the moment.
Otto, do you have any windy spells? Like any spells for blowing things?
A windy spell. What do I have that might blow something?
I'm saying this like I'd assume you to know.
Yes, I'm trying to think what would blow, but nothing that would do that.
I think a lot of our abilities suck, but yeah.
Olwyn, you do recall, as one of the last things you did before you stepped into the cloister properly, was you still had a bit of lingering energy on your rapier from one of Maximus's spells, and as you presented the rapier to the fog, the radiant energy seemed to part the fog and burn it away a little bit before fading as the spell faded.
Yes. So that worked. So what kind of energy was that you put into my rapier, Maximus?
That was positive energy, channeling life from the good gods.
Oh, was it? How interesting.
Oh, Otter, why don't you cast a healing spell in the sort of, you can do healing in groups, can't you, in areas?
Yes.
Why don't you go in the middle of that room by the tree and just cast your healing?
No.
I'll go with you.
Yes, I channel positive energy to heal the living or damage the undead. All right, I'll give it a go. Where do you want me to stand and do it?
Well, I think somewhere in the middle of the fog would be the sensible thing. Do you want me to come with you?
Yes.
All right, I'll come and hold your hand.
That would be very, very reassuring. Thank you.
Brave little man.
All right. So, as the two of you step forward into the cloister, once again, Otto, you discovering these bones crunching underfoot as Olwyn leads you into the cloister. As you enter the cloister properly, this fog itself seems to surround you both for just a moment, and you swear you hear the cries of children somewhere in the fog. Can you both give me a will save, please?
Does this count as a spell save?
This is not a spell.
24 for Alwyn.
Okay.
17 for Otto.
17. Okay. So, as both of you step into this cloud of fog, You hear the cries of children, and you glance around you to see a source, and you see small spectral figures resembling human children dressed in rags. And you watch as a larger, looming, formless spectral figure looms over them and raises a spectral arm above them before they fade away and vanish. As this happens, the two of you feel a palpable wave of despair wash over you. For as long as you are in this fog, you cannot use any reactions, and when we get to combat, I will need you to make additional saves at the start of your turn.
Wander into the fog, he said. Cast a healing spell, he said.
Just let's get this over and done with, shall we? Go on, quick as you can.
Alright, I'll cast my healing spell. In the direction from which we saw the children and the...
Poor children. Well...
evil children. They must be destroyed.
They must be eaten by a shark.
So do you have one that does it in like all directions for 30 foot?
It has a range of 30 feet in a 30-foot emanation.
Yes.
So I'm casting a burst in their direction.
Well, if it's emanating, it's all directions.
It's centered on you if it's emanating.
Alright, it emanates. I will stand in the middle.
Okay, so you move up.
That's why we're going to the middle of the room, you see.
So you move through this cloister, the two of you, momentarily freaked out by this apparition you saw that then disappeared just as quickly. And as you step from the stone onto the overgrown grass and vegetation beneath the tree, there's a definite nip in the air, as well as anything else. And you, Otto, you begin to channel this healing energy. What level are you casting that spell at?
I can cast it at level 2, can't
I? Okay. So pulling this positive energy into yourself, Otto, you release a wave of healing energy across the entire chamber. All right, Otto. If you could roll 2d8 for me, please.
2d8.
And mark off a second level spell slot.
8 and 5. That's 13.
13. Very nice. So Otto, as you release this burst of positive energy all around you, Olwyn, you recover 13 hit points.
That was his motivation all along.
Hadn't lost any anyway.
As will Della, as will Chardonnay.
Cool.
And this radiant energy you see washes out over this entire cloister, Olwyn, and the fog. Certainly the fog that's immediately around you, you see is immediately burned away. As is the fog for the rest of the cloister. You've completely cleared this area of the fog. You don't know how long for. You can see whispers and vestiges of this fog beginning to creep back in. Very, very slowly. It's not like it's rushing back in. But yeah, you've certainly cleared this area for the time being. And now that the fog has cleared, the two of you can see from where you are that there are a number of possible exits leading away from the cloister itself. You see along the what we'll call the western wall, there are 2 exits. Along the northern wall, also 2 exits. Along the eastern wall, two exits, both going up a small set of stone stairs, and to south is the door through which you entered.
Maximus, How do we lay these children to rest?
Maximus sort of makes his way into the cloister to meet you, and he says to you, well, let me think. Yes. There is something I can do. There is a ritual that I can perform that will lay these spirits to rest and sanctify this place so that none can ever pass this way again. However, there's one small problem.
Always.
I cannot perform it whilst those two creatures live. We must find them and find a way to destroy them.
That's a small problem, is it?
And can you determine which direction they might be in at least?
And once again, he lifts up his hand as you'd seen him do previously. His left hand with his fingers twisted into an arcane sign. And he opens his eyes, and as he opens his eyes, you see that they have his eyes have gone jet black. Do not be alarmed. This is allowing me to sense the presence of any undead. They're
creepy as fuck, I'll tell you that.
I do not have a definite location for them, but there are concentrations of undeath energy to the north and to the east.
Right, what do you think, everyone? North or east?
Maybe northeast?
Yeah.
Split the difference.
There isn't a northeast. That would just be the corner of the room.
Yes.
You have to hide in the corner of the room.
They're not hiding in the corner of the room.
North.
Yeah, let's go.
North.
Okay. So making your way around the cloister, across this courtyard, and again sort of hearing the sound of bone gently crunching underfoot. It's almost impossible to avoid stepping on these bones, by the way. The ground is littered with them. But as you get towards the north of the door, the north of the room, you can see that there are two exits. There is on the left, as you look at it, there is a doorway with a sturdy wooden door in the frame, and more directly in front of you, there's a small chamber, a small antechamber that seems to lead once again to another doorway with a fairly sturdy looking wooden door in it.
I think the door in front of us, because if it was the door to the left, that would be more sort of west, wouldn't it? So
yeah.
That's my thinking.
Della would like to go and check that door.
The one in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay. So Della, as you step forward into the small antechamber, you take a look to your right and you see another set of steps leading up into what appears to be a much larger chamber, perhaps the main body of the temple itself. And from where you are, kind of looking up these stairs, you can just see that the very far corner of the temple itself appears to have collapsed entirely, leaving it exposed to the elements. And the door in front of you, it's been here for a very long time, as you're aware. It still looks fairly well made. The door itself is intact, and as you approach it, Della, you discover that it is locked.
It is locked. I'm sure I can do something about this. Yes, can I pick that lock, please?
You certainly can. I'm guessing you have a set of thieves' tools?
I do indeed.
You do, all right. So, Della, you sort of bend down and start working on the lock yourself. Give me a thievery roll, please.
While this is happening, I was going to turn to Brother Amos and say, so this is quite interesting. She's obviously not a trustworthy person, is she?
I thought you
Mind
wanted
your
to see what
items.
was behind this door. I got a 25.
25, easily enough. Where this lock is old, the mechanism has fused a little bit, but with a little bit of leverage and the correct application of know-how, you're able just to pop the mechanism out of its fused state, and then you discover that the lock itself is very easy to twist open, and you open the door. And sort of stepping inside the room beyond, you find yourself in what might once have been the chapter house of this temple. You know, a place where the priests would come to conduct kind of the day-to-day running of the temple. Give me a perception roll, Della.
17.
17, okay. So you notice that you notice a few things, Della. First up, all the furniture in this room is ruined and rotten. The wood seems to have long decayed or been eaten by fungus or woodworm or that sort of thing. But you do notice a few things. You notice that on the desk, sat on what was once the desk, there is a small iron coffer. In addition to that, the kind of lead in front of the coffer itself, in front of the desk, you can see on the floor a shadow in a vaguely humanoid shape. And as you notice this, Ruby, you sort of look up and you look around the walls, and it's weird. The decoration in this room is very haphazard. There are marks of some brownish substance that have been marked that cover all of the walls here. You can give me a religion roll, actually.
13.
13. Yeah, and as you look over these and you look at the feverish way in which they've been daubed, there's something vaguely. They vaguely resemble prayers that have been written on the wall in a language you don't understand, or don't fully understand. It's a very archaic form of common. You don't fully understand the words, but from what you do understand, you get the gist that there is some form of worship has been happening here.
Okay, and how far away is this shadow from me?
The shadow is about 10 feet in front of you, as I say, just sort of lying on the ground in front of what would have once been the desk.
Okay. Maximus, come over here.
He does. Maximus comes to join you.
What do you make of this? Then I'll point to the shadow on the floor.
Yes. There's again, I can't say for certain, but there is the strong presence I felt. There's definitely one here.
Oh, I'm not made for these things.
Do you have any more of that sort of that positive energy you can stick into the rapier again? Maybe Della's rapier.
Let me see.
Charge it up.
whilst Dom checks Maximus's prepared spells. Does he have another one? Yes, I can do that. Well, once more, if you like, I can do it on up to 2 weapons.
Oh, right. Shall I come in with you then,
Yes.
Della? Right. Let's do it to our rapiers, I think. What's everyone else doing?
We'll watch.
Okay. Voyeur.
I'm going to come in because if there's a chance for a fight,
Yes, and your magic fists.
Okay.
Yes.
So where are you watching from, Otto? Are you staying out in the cloister?
No, I'll follow them into the room.
All right.
I need to be able to see it.
Okay. So as you're moving into the rooms, folks, Maximus reaches out and touches your rapier, Olwyn, and your rapier, Della, and this familiar positive energy washes out from him and into your weapons and lingers there. You are under the effects of disrupting weapons for the next minute.
Okay. I'm going to immediately stab my rapier into the shadow.
All right. Okay. So, with that in mind, Della, as you step into the room, please let's all roll initiative.
I knew this was a bad idea.
Ooh!
22.
29.
23.
So 29 for Della.
8.
Okay. So Della was 29. Otto was an 8.
I rolled a natural 1.
Oh, mate. Okay. Olwyn.
23.
23 for Olwyn. Amos. 15.
22.
22. There we go. Okay. And for Maximus as well. Okay. Maximus is going to be going somewhere in there. Alright, so, Della, you step into the room. You don't see anything shift or move as you do so. It's your turn. What would you like to do?
I'm going to stab at the shadow on the floor.
You stab into the shadow. Roll an attack for me.
Okay. 16.
Okay. As you stab into the shadow, Della, nothing appears to happen.
Oh, well. I'm going to stab it again.
Okay, roll another attack for me.
No, I did not do well. That was a 2 on the dice.
Yeah, you stab your rapier into the ground, and there is a chink of metal on stone.
I think it might just be a shadow.
I think you might be right.
Maximus. And I'm going to sort of edge back if anybody else wants to have a go, just to make a bit more room.
Okay, so use your third action to move back. All right, you step a little bit further into the room, sort of to one side of the shadow. End of your turn, Della. We are round to Olwyn.
So seeing this, I will say, well, he did say that it's in here somewhere. Alwyn will move into the room up to the desk. You say the shadow's just in front of the desk and this coffer. Yeah.
Yes, the shadow is lying on the ground. And when I say shadow, for kind of a visual aesthetic, it's like when you see shadows of people caught in a nuclear explosion.
Right. Okay.
It's like that.
So Alwyn's second action will be to using the rapier to skewer from above the coffer.
All right, roll an attack for me, Olwyn.
Oh, natural one. Is it worth using a hero point? No. You want me to roll a d6?
Roll a d6, please.
5.
That's a critical fumble.
Oh no!
As you attack an inanimate object. That's amazing.
Oh, I hope you don't hit me.
Hope it's not decapitated. That's
Alright. Okay.
Dom suddenly stops laughing.
Roll damage for me, Otto. Olwyn.
My normal rapier damage.
Yes,
yeah?
normal rapier damage.
Oh, right. Now, this time I roll a 6 on a d6. Okay.
Alright. Della, you feel a sharp pain in your side as Olwyn skewers you with his rapier.
What are you doing?
To hit the shadow, not me.
Olwyn, you drew. Sorry, that's the card you drew.
This could be our deadliest foe yet.
Oh,
This
gosh.
shadow.
It's all right. I'll heal you shortly. That won't go wrong.
Oh, are you sure?
That's never gone wrong.
No.
That's never gone wrong.
Never.
Okay. With my final action, I'm going to try that again.
Right,
Are you
roll
sure
another attack
you want
for
to
me.
try that again?
This is presumably -5.
I'm going to say no because it's an inanimate object.
Okay. That's very generous of you. That's better. 25.
25. Okay. So you strike the iron coffer, Olwyn, and you strike it with enough force that you actually knock it off the table. It sort of clatters to the ground. Remains closed, but you sort of hear something metallic rattling around inside it. But as you strike the coffer, Olwyn, you can see that neither of you had noticed before. Tucked underneath the coffer was another page of tattered, yellowed paper.
That's the end of Alwyn's go.
That's the end of Olwyn's go. Brother Amos, we're round to you. You're still outside the chapter.
Can I go off to the right?
If you want to, yeah. There is a set of steps there leading up into the main body of the temple. Absolutely. And as you step up the steps, Brother Amos, you find yourselves in what was once surely a gorgeous temple to Desna. You see butterfly motifs adorning the walls in emblem form. What remains of the shattered glass windows were a beautiful mix of purples and blues, sort of would have obviously once been quite beautiful. And you see that this place is ruined. The various pews that once laid in place for people to worship on have been knocked around, have been broken. Some have been smashed entirely to pieces. Others have just broken down over time. And as mentioned to Della, as you step into the room properly, you sort of glance away to the east. You see that the far wall of the temple itself has completely collapsed. Looks like it's been eroded by a river running through the settlement. And actually, Brother Amos, give me a perception roll.
Okay.
.26. Okay. As you sort of cast your eye around the room, you see something a bit more out of place. A bit further to the south, one of the walls has kind of about here. If you can see where I'm pinging on the map,
Yeah.
one of the walls has a very defined impact point, as though something was slammed into it very, very hard.
I would quite like to go over there and have a look at that and closer.
All right. So again, the squares are on the map of 5 feet. So move yourself as you wish. Okay, and as you reach that point, Brother Amos, you see that not only is there this impact point in the wall, the impact also seems to have a similar one of these shadows inside it. And actually, with that, we'll keep that same perception roll as you're kind of moving down, looking around a bit warily. You can see, kind of on the floor at the base of this impact, there is a leather satchel and another tattered, yellowed piece of paper.
Oh, well then, with my third action, if I can get there, I'll go and investigate that.
It takes the rest of your turn to get over to that Brother Ramos, but you find yourself looking at this satchel with the yellowed paper underneath it. That's going to end your turn. It is now Maximus, and you see Maximus uses his first action to maintain the spell he was previously using. You see he's moving his hand around, looking around himself. I can't pinpoint it. It's definitely here somewhere. He's going to spend his last 2 actions to... you see he also moves into the room with you, Olwyn. And he's going to inspect the writing on the walls. Okay. And he looks up at you as he does this, Olwyn. He says, "I think this is the source of the blasphemy. These words." That's going to end his turn. At the end of Maximus's turn, Olwyn, in the doorway behind you, you become aware of a cloud of dust forming, and this cloud of dust coalesces into the shape of one of these undead priests, who, as he appears, turns to face you and, with a growl, lunges into the room and moves to strike you. I've got a 24 to hit, Olwyn.
Oh, yeah, that's going to hit.
Okay. Olwyn, you take 9 points of slashing damage as this creature rends across your chest with its sharp claws. And I need you to give me a fortitude save, please.
Okay. That's nice. Rolled a 19 on the dice for 30.
30, fantastic.
Wow.
So as this claw strikes into you, Olwyn, the wound itches for just a second, and then that sensation passes. No other effects. That is going to be its entire turn to do that. So we are now round to Otto. This creature has just appeared in front of you and dashed into the room to strike at Olwyn.
This creature. Can I cast another healing spell?
If you want to. I mean, you've got a spell slot. If you've got spell slots to do so, absolutely.
I have, I think, yes. I've got 4 spell slots, so I'll cast a level 2 healing spell.
Have you used in the games day though? Because you used some last session, didn't you?
Yes.
Also, remember, this is technically this is the same in-game day where you had the battle with Maximus outside the tavern.
I did cast a healing spell out there, but I have 4 per day, 4 level 2.
Okay, if you've got 4 level 2, then you've got 4 level 2.
I mean, I could say this is my 4th one, just in case. I can't remember if I did another one.
Okay. I mean, you still have your first level slots as well, but obviously they're not as powerful.
Yes, I'll cast a level 2 at him.
Okay.
My last level 2.
And how many actions are you using to cast the spell, Otto?
It's
So it's going to be either 2 actions if you want to target just the undead creature, or if you use all 3 actions, you can do another wave that will hit your allies as well.
I'll do another wave. In for a penny.
In for a pound. There we go. All right. So roll 2d8 for me again, please, Otto.
2d8. 2 and 9.
So that's 11. Alwyn and Della, you each recover 11 hit points.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As does Chardonnay.
Thank you, Otto.
And the Quekiva has to make a fortitude save. So that's going to be a 26. What's your spell DC, Otto?
My spell DC is 19.
19. Okay, so it does succeed. It's taking half damage, so that's 11, which is reduced to 5 points of damage. Still very nice, though. And actually, Otto, as you release this positive radiant energy, it blasts outwards, and you watch as the creature's flesh blisters and burns even more than you were expecting it to.
Always so satisfying.
Alright, so end of your turn, Otto. We are back round to Della.
Okay. Is there a way that I can... Because I feel I can't get at this guy because he's sort of in the doorway a little bit, and Owen and Maximus are a little in my way.
I mean, you could sort of skirt round to Alwyn's left and sort of get in that way.
Okay, cool. I will do that. And then I will feint at this guy with my rapier.
Okay, roll your deception check.
12.
12. Unfortunately, you go to fake out this creature, Della, and it looks at you disinterestedly as you flick your rapier from side to side.
Okay, and then I'll just attack it.
All right, roll the attack.
Ooh, that's better. 25.
25 hits. Roll damage.
2.
2. Okay, so
Ooh.
as you
Do I get sneak attack?
you do not.
Okay.
You are the creature is not flat-footed.
Cool.
So you strike him with your rapier, Della, and as happened when you were previously outside, your rapier doesn't. Although you pierce the creature's body, it does not seem to leave an injury. However, I've just remembered you've got disrupting weapons cast, so please roll a d4.
I will need to find the other one. 2.
2. Okay. So although the weapon itself leaves no injury on the creature, this flash of divine energy that Maximus has put on the blade once again washes out from the rapier and blisters and burns the skin of it.
Nice.
It's very nice. Okay, end of your turn, Della. It is Olwyn.
Right, first thing I'm going to do then is command Chardonnay, not only to attack the creature, but to first of all take up a flanking position with Della, knowing that Della does a lot more damage if she's flanking.
All right.
Having witnessed that, and then Chardonnay would like to have a good old snappy snap with the old jaws.
Okay.
21.
21 is enough to hit. Oh, especially as it's flat-footed there. Yes, that's a hit.
good. So this is going to be max damage, 10 points of damage.
Very nice. So as Chardonnay bites into this creature, there's a stench of death and decay that reaches Chardonnay's nostrils once again. The creature only takes 7 points of piercing damage, but there's still a good bite nonetheless.
Okay. And with his remaining 2 actions, Alwyn would like to raise his shield.
Okay.
And take a swipe with his own rapier.
Take a swipe, Robbie attack.
Oh, that shit. 12.
12 is going to miss, unfortunately.
You stabbed Della again.
I feel I've done some good with that round, so although I didn't... Yeah.
That's fine. So actually, as in the moment it takes you to raise your shield, Olwyn, Chardonnay is kind of sort of ripping and tearing at the creature and actually pulls it away from you as you go to strike, which is what causes you to miss. End of your turn, Olwyn. It's Amos exploring the temple proper.
Well, I will pick up the satchel and the piece of paper.
Okay. As you pick up the satchel, Brother Amos, you hear a clinking of glass from within it, and the piece of paper again is written in quite an archaic form of common, but it's enough that you can understand it. Could you roll a d6 for me, please? Re-roll. If it's a 5, please re-roll it.
Okay. It's a 3.
A 3. Okay. Do you want to read it out for the benefit of?
Yeah. I'll. I found something, and then if you. Can we communicate? Are we close enough to be able to hear each other?
Yeah, you can sort of shout, and I mean, if you just want to read the journal out loud for the benefit of the listeners, you can kind of converse a bit more freely.
Yeah, of course. I'm just sat here dead silent. Apologies, listeners.
That's all right.
Okay, I have locked Pastor Morrigan within the chapter house, both for his own safety and the safety of our charges. Though he is not in his right mind, his blasphemous ravings must be suppressed, lest the children fear we mean to harm them. What he was proposing, to trade the children's lives for our own, is completely unthinkable. Though the stars remain hidden, I must keep strong. Soon the village elders will return with news of sanctuary. We'll get to safety, and I'll find Morrigan the help he needs. I can feel it.
Very interesting, but we're a bit fucking busy right now.
Oh shit! And then Brother Amos will run in and then help with the fight, I guess.
Right, so you start running back towards the group. So you sort of sprint back across the temple, heading toward the doorway that you had previously come through. And as you do so, Brother Amos, you see another dust cloud forming in front of you as you do so.
Joy.
Yeah, nothing happens for the time being, but that is kind of forming there in front of you. You can see it. You can see this dust getting thicker as you approach the doorway. That's the end of your turn. We're on to Maximus. So Maximus is going to take a step back, sort of standing in the shadow itself. Lifts up his holy symbol to Pharasma and shoots a now familiar bolt of black and blue energy towards the creature in the doorway. And as he streaks it past you, Olwyn, the Huecuva ducks and dives just out of the way of that blast as the energy slams into the wall behind it. Maximus sort of looks a bit pissed off for that. I'll go get you next time.
The what? Sorry, the ducula.
You don't know.
Okay.
That's the end of
Count Ducula.
That's the end of Maximus's turn. It is now the Huecuva. So sort of seeing all these people around it. Once again, it lifts its hands up to its mouth, raises its eyes to the sky, and lets out a howl. I need Della, Olwyn, and Chardonnay to each give me a will save.
Is this an emotional success thingy?
Yes, as before, this is an emotion effect.
Will save.
18 for Chardonnay, 21 for Alwyn.
Okay.
5 for Della.
25 for Della. Okay, the three of you all succeed on that save, which means you all become frightened 1. Della, you suffer no fear because of your halfling abilities.
I am fearless.
Fearless. But certainly Olwyn and Chardonnay, you are each frightened 1. And then the creature in the doorway is... it's just going to make a strike towards you, Olwyn.
Because why not?
I mean, it's a 14 to hit. I think you got nothing to worry about. Is that a miss?
That is definitely
It is, alright. Okay, a whole lot of nothing with its turn. Otto, we're up to you.
I think I'll stick with what I know best and produce flame.
Okay, roll that spell attack.
Ooh. 14 plus my DC spell attack is 23.
23 will hit, roll damage.
That's 2d4 plus 3 fire. Three plus 1, 4 plus 3, 7.
Lovely stuff. You strike the creature in the back with this ball of fire, Otto, and this one in particular is looking like it's starting to struggle to keep itself on its feet.
Always good.
But you've got an action left, Otto.
I will just put up my shield.
Okay, you use last action to cast shield on yourself,
Yes.
or sorry, to raise your
Raise
buckler.
raise my buckler.
That's it.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Okay, end of your turn, Otto. It is Della.
Aha! You don't frighten me. I'm gonna swing in with my rapier and not do well. Roll a 16.
16 will miss, unfortunately. Even with the advantage provided by Chardonnay, the creature is still able to dodge deftly out of the way of your blade.
Okay, I'm just gonna try again.
Okay, roll the attack.
What's the penalty?
Be -5 on the rapier.
So 20.
20. A 20 will hit.
Yay!
Hmm.
Okay, so a d6 and a d4?
A d6 and a d4, and you'll get your sneak attack as Chardonnay is, as the creature is flat-footed.
That's another d6, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Okay, that is a total of... So, 1, 5 for the sneak damage and the rapier, and 4 for the Maximus thing.
Okay, so 6 damage. Even with the resistance, it doesn't matter. As you strike into the creature, Della, your blade flares with divine light, and the creature bursts into ash and scatters.
Aha!
And that is where we're going to end for this episode, I think,
Oh.
folks.
Ah!
Job well done.
One down, one to go.
There's only one more.
Tales from the 20 Side is a Feagle Films production in association with Juicy Falls. Music by Nazar Ryback from hooksounds.com. Editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitter and Instagram by searching Tales from the 20 Side or by visiting talesfromthe20side.com.